Hello and welcome to Universal Love Law. Today I wanted to make a quick video for you guys, just to give you guys a kind of heads up. Everything kind of metaphysically, of course, I like to talk about under the veil, the energy signatures that can possibly be leading towards an experience that will either, bring expansion and contraction in a negative or in a positive direction. So, I make my videos first and foremost for people that are actually, seeking to experience the greater joys and best probable outcomes in life. I make these videos for people to motivate them and inspire them, and just to bring an awareness and clarity. I understand duality. I understand this realm has good, bad. Well, really, that doesn't exist in a higher kind of reality of things. But I absolutely feel that I understand that, we do have these kind of energies in the world, and they play out in our life for better or for worse. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because it's something that needs to be talked about. There is something very negative in the realm of the mukbang community. I don't know if you guys are aware of those people who eat on camera, and they've been receiving like these are like people who have literally gotten rich and even famous for eating on camera. And a lot of times we glorify the new trends that come out, or like, what's popular, and we indulge in it. But all things we do should have discrepancy and awareness. So us being spiritually enlightened to things, we understand that we can identify when something is not good for the expansion of a soul's evolution, right? So if you're in a lifetime where you are in a constant stubbornness, stuckness, you do not evolve on a soul level. And the programmings of today's time make it very easy for us to get stuck into the paradigms that were played or created out for us, right? The programs that were created out for us, which leads into a series of behavioral issues, whether it be mentally or physically. So these programs can ultimately influence our negative. It can influence for worse, not for better. And so, if we're looking at things from a spirit on a spiritual lens, we understand, we can know, we can sense that something's not all the way right about the mukbang community. Um, and where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of people in the mukbang community that have transformed their bodies. Like, I know, for example, Nico Avocado. A lot of people may know him. Shout outs to him. It's all love here. But he did a video in the well, I mean, he there's a lot of videos, excuse me, that have come out about him, where he has gone from, vegan eating, very healthy lifestyle, to now he he kind of glorifies it. Really depends on his channels thriving from his obesity. He even put it in the captions about like you know how he's out of breath and stuff just from putting the thumbnails up for the food that he's about to eat. And he eats so much, he's gained so much, and he's, I believe, out over 300 pounds now, all from this lifestyle and this influence of this new, trending culture of, food intake, right? And monetization. These people are getting monetized for eating food on camera, and what that does to a weaker soul, meaning one who doesn't have self control, and the negative alignments and placements. If you take a look at Nico Avocado's chart, he's, has that Taurus energy, right? And it and it's dark sided. He's overindulging in this kind of seven deadly sins of gluttony, right? And so I noticed across the board with all the very popular YouTubers, I did their birth charts and I seen Taurus energy prominent and strong, whether it be on their Mars, their Sun, or just a very impactful placement for them. So once I observe that, I do understand this is qualities of the dark sided sensory stimulated Taurus energy. But I like to just say that, when we're talking about spirit, there are different spirits, right, in the world, in the realm of the metaphysics, which is the unseen realm. So essentially, what we're seeing is the spirit of gluttony that is amongst the mukbang community, and what it's doing is it is influencing the masses, whether we realize it or not. Sometimes people might listen to what I'm saying and be like, oh, she is trying to be so negative, or make a mo out of a molehill. I mean, I forgot the term, but make it a big deal basically when it comes to the mukbang community. But ultimately, there is a very dark energy that I'm sensing from the mukbang community. So let's look at universal laws, right? My channel is Universal Law, so love and law. So I definitely operate in a highest good and in unconditional love. I absolutely believe in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, though. So, I understand that karmically you only receive what you feel you need to, what your heart feels you deserve. If you don't feel like you did wrong in the act of receiving justice, or implementing justice, then your karma will be what your heart believes. So that's why I just state that for the record. But essentially, what my ultimate goal is to push positive love and light, and that's what I'm all about. I know people like to talk down on people like, oh, all that love and light bullshit. Well, I am very love and light because um but there's an opposite side to all things, right? There's an opposite face, different sides to every coin. But I just say for the record, ultimately that's my goal. I like to shed light on dark matters and things of that nature. So when it comes to this energy that I'm sensing spiritually on the mukbang community, I feel like it's a ploy, and it's an influence on the masses. I think it's a part of this chaos energy that will bring people into gluttony through repetition. Universal law states that what you pay attention to will grow. Okay? So this is very important because, where attention goes, energy flows. If we know that if we're watching these kind of videos where subconsciously programming our subconscious mind, we're not realizing that we're programming our mind to mirror what it is that we're seeing. So there's a psychological impact on it that is influencing the viewer that watches these mukbangs, these eating videos. And there's also a spiritual kind of impact that is happening, right? Because this is an energy. This is an energy, but it's also a psychological impact. So that's dealing with the psyche, the human psyche, and we know that watching mukbangs and it really just observing anything, we will eventually be mirrored to it. That's why it's very important to be aware of your mental diet and what it is that you are exposing yourself to, because like I always say, your environment is always free propaganda. So, and whatever it is that you're paying attention to. So the more that this is why I can't be on one thing for too long. I have to switch it up. Sometimes I like to dive deep into astrology, then I have to pull away. Sometimes I like to dive deep into the world of quantum physics, or quantum healing sessions, past life regressions, near death experiences, mediumship, all of these things that I'm personally into. But I can't stay on one thing for too long because I need there's an aspect of expansion and contraction, right? So the expansion is when you're feeling on top of the world. You want to go after, you want to seek new information. You're very open to learning, and you have these new ideas that are coming to you. You feel a stimulated joy, and there's serendipity, meaning there's a series of chain of events that lead to these new evolutions and revelations on whatever it is that you're seeking to understand or understand or experience and feel. So then when you're in that space, that's called expansion. Now on the opposite end of that, there's a contraction. So we do go through these stages where we need to pull away. We need to become cut off from the world. We need to go within and figure out and understand and even question some of the things we were seeking and some of the revelations revealed to us. Sometimes in a state of contrast, we could even completely go against what it is that we were just once so gung-ho and excited about, and even doubt our own beliefs. So expansion and contraction is a part of the evolution of life, absolutely. But when it comes to the evolution of in the choices we make within our personal daily lifestyles, it's kind of hard to do that when we're watching the consumption of the mukbang community, when we're over watching it. I feel like a lot of people, they might watch it and then they get that same hunger or that same desire. I've even seen it. Well, we know that universal law states, you know what you pay attention to will grow. And like we're so knowing that people that have had like illnesses, I know there's a mukbanger who created his channel from watching mukbangers in the community, and he at the time had stomach cancer. Those of you guys who are aware of that whole culture, or the mukbang culture, you guys would know who that person is. And he ended up getting it where he created, his own channel, started from the bottom, and now he's, has a lot of subscribers. But I'm concerned. And so when he started, he said that he barely could eat, but the mukbangs would stimulate him to eat. He's a tourist too. It's very mighty funny, just like Nico Avocado. These people have this influence of this energy, the archetype of the bull, right? The sitting bull. But the bull is very important because the bull deals with the five senses, right? It deals with the throat, the mouth, the digesting the senses, the stimulation that one receives when they get the oral fixations, things of that nature, right? So it's common. Of course we know that there's a positive and a light to the influence of the mukbang community. It might help people that are suffering from eating disorders and things of that nature. So I like to say there's always a good and a bad to everything, and I like to at least seek and learn and find and see what I can discover when it comes to exploring the negative and the positive of anything. But I feel like the influence of the mukbang community on the people in the world today is becoming so impactful on our subconscious or our psyches collectively. And we're all one. So these conversations are necessary. And maybe this video will be confirmation to someone that felt something in their gut, like is something wrong with this mukbang community, but was not able to articulate or to put it into thought or to look for someone to mirror that, because we're all mirrors of each other, right? So essentially we all have our own viewpoints and perspectives that we can add to the collective. So that's why cults are kind of horrible, because we have this one person in charge and everybody's viewing it through the lens of the cult leader. And there's multiple ways and perspectives that they can look at, their rules and foundations of their group, right? But it becomes evil when it's one way, when it's forced to be seen one way. So I like to say, as a collective, we're all mirrors to each other. We attract to people that share the commonalities and common thoughts and feelings as us. And we're all one because of that, regardless if we realize it or not. We all imitate each other, we all learn from each other. There's just a spin off and an individuality. This moves into the age of Aquarius, right? So we have that Aquarian energy, which is the unique and original individual within amongst the group, right? The Aquarius energy is in the 11th house, right? It rules the group efforts, the group collectively, mentally. It deals with Aquarian energy is actually a very powerful energy because a lot of people don't understand that, it deals with electricity. Aquarian energy deals with electricity, right? And eventually I know I'm going to make a video about the Aquarian energy because it's so powerful, and it's in the otherworldly kind of connection it has on a intellectual and mental level. And it is amazing that it's the world that we're kind of living in today. It's so changeable, it's so different. Everything's constantly moving and transforming. And, collectively as a group, we're being influenced by it. And then we're able to kind of see what works for us and what doesn't. So I think that for these years now, kind of correlating this Aquarian energy to the topic at hand, like the mukbang community and the influence of this gluttony type of spirit on the world, I think that it's making people, it's influencing people how to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, because a lot of people are into the seafood boils more than ever. Seafood has skyrocketed in price. Of course, certain people loved seafood before, but it wasn't such a thing as now. I feel like it's a subconscious thing. Like, even in the mukbang community's influence on us psychologically, not even just in the world of spirit, it deals with a consumerism type of energy, because not only are we consuming these large amounts of food, we're also spending money based on the popularity of whatever dishes are popular, right? And so then it gets into the sponsorships. Some of these places are sponsored by the Popeyes or the Rockin' Crawfishes or the Buffalo Wild Wings, right? These places actually sponsor these mukbangers because they understand the influencers' power and their popularity. And so what we're doing is we're being attacked on many levels when it comes to this world of mukbang community. We just need to become aware of it. And that's what I do. I bring awareness on these kind of situations that are happening in the world, and I like to help people to justify their feeling the nudges inside of you, like something's wrong with this. Of course, there's a lot of good that we can find in it, being able to cook at home your own meals, of course, helping those who have those problems with eating. These are all positive pros, but there's so much underlying negativity that I like to just bring a light and awareness on from an astrological viewpoint, this Taurus dark sided energy, the gluttony energy. You have to think about how there's these challenges, right, where people are eating like a massive amount of food. And that's insane. And then we have these mukbangers that are really loved by the collective. There's a lot of people that really appreciate Nico Avocado and all that he has done, and his influence and his energy and his commentary, right? He's so funny and dramatic, but now it's becoming borderline what is the word? He's like in a psychosis, like he's really losing his mind. There's an insanity that I could see inside of his eyes due to the spirit of gluttony that he has within himself. And that's a heavy energy, okay? We're talking about the mountain of a spirit that deals with the weight, the weight in all levels, right? From the third dimensional density, this is a heavy energy, right? It makes you literally feel heavy. Just think about it. How do you think these mukbangers that eat all this food, eat for a living, feel after they eat all this food? How does it feel to take away the natural appreciation for just eating your meal, speaking to your meal by praying over your meal, charging your meal with your love and your energy, connecting to it, enjoying it, loving it, and all those things, right? How does it feel when that becomes a job? You take the pleasure out of it. And a lot of us have actually noticed that some of these mukbangers are slaves to this type of work that they do now. They don't look like they're into eating the food. They don't look like they are enjoying it anymore. And we're sensing it because that is, our sixth sense. We're in tune with spoken word. We don't need the words. The body language shows it, the way that they react and respond. So we're seeing what this is doing to us in a long-term studies, kind of like a social study. We're observing how this influence of the mukbang community, the food eating and challenge community, is influencing the masses. Of course, it's making people more prone to eating larger amounts, going and spending their money at places, and this is all a ploy. But most importantly, it deals with that energy of the gluttonous energy. And so I really wanted to just kind of share that today because I feel like it's so essential to our understanding. I think it's good communication. Let me know what you guys think about this influence of the food eating community and how it is spiritually and how it could be negatively impacting us collectively, and what is it leading to? How has it impacted the people on this planet, right? How has it impacted the viewers? How has it impacted us as a group, as a collective, over the last 4 years or however long it's been super popular? I know for like 3.5 years, it's been super popular. We watch these people go from living with people to literally rich millionaires. And there's a reason why it's a lot of money into this. And this is the last point I'm going to make before I go. If you guys take a look and notice, there's a lot of money that is always put into advertisement of all things. Right now, as a collective, we're really getting attacked by these big companies, these big heads, these big bosses, because they're paying the people that entertain us to keep our narrative and keep our programming, right? And essentially they want a world of consumerism so that we can be detached from our true essence and our true gifts and true heart's desire, which is to be connected and to feel the highest peaks of enlightenment, right? But we're not able to do that when we have to stay confined to this work, hustle, and bustle type of frequency that they want to keep us in, to control us through what we believe our history is, what we believe all these things to be. So they're influencing us with these entertainers right now, including the mukbanger community. Why do you think that there's a mukbanger that are millionaires? Like Belovely's, she's a millionaire and she does, her work in eating seafood all day long. And people are glamorized. They're so, like mesmerized by her and her hustle, her ambition. And what I can say is what's for you is for you. God gave you what is for you. It was for you before you even came. It was already written in your books. Nobody could take that from you. What's for you is what's for you. And so we also have to take in consideration that there's a reason why there's a lot of money being pushed behind these certain people to make it popular, because there's a thin line between, you know, being rational and having self-control into being completely loose, frivolous, and having no self-control. And they know that certain influences and popular people will, have us on that opposite end of the spectrum where we are spending more money, where we are disconnected from life, where we are depressed, where we are filling our voids with food, where we are filling our voids with entertainment, right? So there's these entertainers that's happening right now that are popular right now, that are pushing these narratives. Like there's this consumerism, there's this in the African American community, there's this pushing that we are all from Africa. Everybody, like, I know there's like these popular celebrities trying to go get their um like ancestries and stuff, DNA, to see where their tribe is in Africa. And they're trying to deter us, the narrative of, there's black people all around the world. And our ancestors go back before, before any kind of slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade. There were blacks in all the continents. And so they want us to think that we are something that we're not. They want to control the narrative and influence this gang culture in our music and through the entertainers. Half of these people that are, doing all this negative influence in the music literally do not even have any beef in real life. They're sitting somewhere out the way, rich, flying around, trying to figure out other ways to make money. They're pushing this abuse, domestic violence culture with the baby and the other girl, Ari Fletcher, where they're just glorifying abusive relationships or normalizing it like this is normal. So there's a narrative being pushed to the urban communities and to the minorities as well to influence us to be consumers, to be negative, to be low vibrational. And that's why I like to bring an awareness. Like, I hate to always just say focus on the negative, but I feel like the more we call it what it is, it walk like a duck, look like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. We know what it is. It can no longer have any control or power over us. And there's a large group of us who are aware of this. This is what we call our collective consciousness. Now, there's a lot of people that are not aware and they're sleeping and they're going with the flow, and it will show. A tree, a tree by the fruit it bears. Eventually, you'll see their depression hit, and, behind closed doors, you'll see that all these negative impacts and programs do affect the human being in a negative. So, and then it makes us chase these dopamine highs. These are literally scientifically proven how the dopamine release in the brain gives us a high. So these people understand how to keep the collective masses low in vibration in order to control us and to keep us in these programs, in these matrix. And I just want to bring an awareness to it. Okay? But yeah, that's all I have to say for today. I hope this video has been enlightening to you. Please let me know what you think about this video in the comments below, and any kind of, um, you know, hunches or things that you may have seen in this mukbang community that you felt was not right on a spiritual level. Senses, you felt it, you didn't know what it was, but you just sensed something wasn't right. On a spiritual level, there is things that are not right about it, right? So let's have this discussion in the comments below. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Keep those high vibes. Peace.